Okay, we're going to begin the meeting right now. This is the City of Erie Historic Review Commission meeting, Monday, January 5th, 2026. Happy New Year. Start out first with the roll call. Vice Chair Dave Brennan here. Secretary Melinda Meyer.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Jean Craig Pepper.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Mark Tannenbaum.
Here.
Okay, and then our ex officio members, Race Executive Director Snippert is here. Director Jacqueline Spry. Here. And Assistant Planner Cooper Moore. Hi, Cooper. Okay, the first item on the agenda is the public comment. Is there any public comment today? I don't see anyone, but I'm asking anyways. There's anyone online? I'm guessing there's not. Okay. Okay, so we'll move forward. Next item is item number 3 on the agenda, the approval of the past meeting minutes and the certificate of appropriateness report. Did everyone get a chance to review?
Yes.
Any questions or issues with either the minutes or the COA report? Hearing none. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes and the report?
I would so move to pass them, approve them.
Okay, Mark, thank you. And was there a second to approve the minutes and the report?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Hearing none? Okay.
Commissioner Meyer, would you mind doing a voice vote?
Yes.
Yes on the motion.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep. Well, thank you for that. We'll make sure and make sure we could hear Melinda on the next vote. So we're good then? Okay. The COA report, there's none. Any public correspondence?
No.
No correspondence. Okay, thank you. And then new business. First on the agenda is the hearing and action of historic nomination. There are none. The second item, B, is CO certificate of appropriateness, and there's none also. So that we'll move forward to C, which is our important Historic Review Commission 2026 election of officers. There are 3 offices to elect today: the chair, the vice chair, which I'm currently the vice chair because we don't have a chair at the moment. I'm interim, and then we have a secretary, which is Melinda Meyer. The first on the agenda would be to nominate a new chair for the officers. Would anyone like to make a nomination for chair for the 2026 HRC? I don't know if Melinda's just asking if she has any comments.
Commissioner Meyer, do you wish to make a nomination for any of the positions for officer?
Are you beginning with chair?
Yes, we're starting with chair.
Yep.
I would like to make a nomination for chair is Mark Tannenbaum. Having that I've made the recommendation, is there a second? Jean Craig would like to make a second for that nomination. So with that said, we'll have a vote. Do we? Let's take a vote. If you're for this nomination, say aye.
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 Commissioner Meyer?
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that. I'm guessing a vote is needed?
Yes, there was a motion for Commissioner Tenenbaum to be the HRC chair. It was seconded by Commissioner Craig.
Okay. Sure, yes.
Yes. Okay, so that's all in favor, so that is going to place. So thank you, Mark, for agreeing, and for everyone voting. So next on the agenda is the vice chair. Would anyone like to make a nomination for vice chair for the 2026 HRC?
I'd be willing to do that. I'd be willing to do that.
Okay. Would anyone like to nominate Jean for the position? of
Yes,
vice
I would
chair?
nominate Jean Craig to be vice chair.
Okay, Mark is nominating Jean. Would anyone like to second that nomination for vice chair for Jean Craig?
Well, I can do it, right? Or no?
I'll second it. I'll second it. Okay, those in favor of Jean Craig Pepper being vice chair, say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none. Congratulations, Jean Craig, for the vice chair. Next on the agenda is the election of secretary. Currently, Melinda Meyer is the secretary for the HRC. Would anyone like to make any, elect anyone for, or nominate someone for the secretary position?
Melinda, do you want to continue to be secretary?
I would say I would leave that in the hands of my fellow commissioners.
I would nominate Melinda.
I'll second.
Okay, Mark nominates, and Jean Craig is the second. We'll have a vote now. Those in favor of Belinda Meyer being the secretary for the HRC for 2026, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Was Melinda an aye?
Commissioner Meyer, what is your vote?
Oh, I can vote on a motion that, okay.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, okay.
Okay, unanimous vote, so congratulations, Melinda, for be the secretary position for 2026 HRC. Okay? Thank you so much, everybody. It's always fun to do that process. But thank you for stepping up, everybody, for those positions. With this nomination, though, I have to hand it over to Mark now, correct? So, Mark, you'll now take. Again, if you want to just.
I'll sit here.
If you want to stay there and continue, and if
I
you
need
want to.
minutes. I didn't bring mine.
Oh,
I
you mean
read
the
them, but I didn't-
agenda?
Agenda. Thank you.
Here's the agenda, and we just finished here for the HRC, or for the election officers. So we're not
Okay.
Erie Public Schools partnership.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. New business D, we are discussing the Erie Public Schools partnership with the Historic Review Commission. Do you have a report on that?
I do, and I know this is not something that we've talked about before, hence new business, but it has, I'm sorry, this is a very awkward position to be in always, where you're facing one way and then meaning to speak to others. So this is not something that we have talked about before, but the Historic Preservation Program has been in conversations with the Erie Public Schools for the past several months about how we can go about partnering together on the Historic Preservation Plan. The school board has been enthusiastically supportive of this, and at their December meeting, they voted unanimously to enter into a partnership with the city of Erie over its historic preservation plan. So what that means is that we identified several areas within the plan itself that are opportunities for us to collaborate with one another over their facilities, over education, over our history. It's very happy things. Now it turns to working together to put together an MOA, a Memorandum of Agreement, on how this functions. This is the first time that, within the city, there's been this kind of partnership between the public schools and the city itself, not only here, but also within the Commonwealth. There's no model for which to go on. So we're doing a bit of off-roading, which is all good things. What will happen is over the next month or two, several of us will work on crafting an MOA, which will then be reviewed by legal counsel from the city and also from Erie Public Schools. And then it will go before our own city council for ratification. So it will be treated like any other kind of agreement. I apologize for the background noise, but it's a very good thing. They were very happy to see that Erie's focus on public education was included in the historic preservation plan, and they see this as an excellent opportunity to collaborate. Now, the particulars on how this will work will be fleshed out in the MOA. It will involve what we think now is having the program serve in a similar capacity that it does for the city itself, so that I, as a historic preservation planner, would be able to advise, would be able to lead projects that center on educational facilities within the city of Erie, and others. So there's an interest as well with the schools about how we can collaborate within the classroom, and whether that means working with teachers to develop curriculum or doing presentations, that kind of thing. There's a very much of a focus on the day-to-day. There's also an interest in, much like I do here, focusing on archives and archival material and developing kind of programmatic and curated spaces using kind of threads of Erie's history, as well as the artifacts and the stuff that we have. So it's pretty big. It's fairly momentous. I think that we'll have an opportunity to walk over the MOA before it goes to council. I would imagine in our February session. I know one of the items that we are talking about is how they can have representation on this body as well. So whether or not there is a seat that's specifically for somebody from the school district in either a voting or in a ex officio capacity. And we're also examining whether or not there'd be an opportunity to have a youth seat on the board, so that somebody from a student, basically from the school district, would be able to come in and take part and participate in these conversations as well. There's going to be a lot of negotiation, a lot of discussion, and I would very much appreciate, I think, all of your perspectives, especially having brought forward the historic preservation plan, which includes all of these different elements. So I'll stop there, see if you have any questions.
I think it's great.
I was just to make a comment that any communication is good. I mean, that we're talking is something that makes a lot of sense, and if we could help them, if they can help us, that's it makes a lot of sense for the teaming to go on. I'll call it teaming, but connecting, collaborating, whatever it be. So I think it's a great idea.
I think it's important to get this right, in particular since there isn't one across the Commonwealth, and therefore ultimately ours would become the model, just de facto. And I think that we sure don't want to stumble in that capacity. No pressure.
Exactly that. I think we're keenly aware of that, and even looking through different examples, we had to reach out to the State Historic Preservation Office to see kind of what's out there, and there isn't anything.
It's shocking.
And there's, I think, a couple different reasons for that, and it's really, I think, speaks well to us in Erie that we are able to build this bridge together.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, we could very well serve as an example, but the focus, I think, and especially the reception from the school board has always been that we share this history and that there isn't a distinction between historic preservation and education. We're all Erie. And they are very enthusiastic about moving forward with this. You know, I think that in terms of executing the plan, and it's absolutely fantastic we have the plan to go from, it's going to be really key to bringing in other sources of funding as well. In the historic preservation, as you all know, there are opportunities and granting opportunities that come with historic preservation. Those are things that have not really been taken advantage of before, either with the city or with the school district. So I think that they very much see there's opportunities there as well. So good stuff. I will say that the Department of Planning has really laid a lot of the groundwork for this because we have done a programmatic partnership, and I know our director can speak to that much more eloquently than I can, but around safe, thank you, safe walking routes to school. And this really is kind of the next iteration that not just working over a specific program, but really having a formal and established kind of a binding relationship to one another, that the school district is very hopeful that they can continue to build in this partnership in this way.
Is there an MOU for the other arrangement that we have with them? No? Is it, but for, yeah, I'm just curious.
I defer to our director.
We didn't have a formal agreement. However, there's been 2 grants now that the Safe Walking Route program through United Way received. It was through the city of Erie. So I believe it was $1 million they received to pave sidewalks where there was a need of improvement. And they went through a whole planning process with Gannon and with their GIS program, and they surveyed the safe walking routes to schools, and we have a lot of data behind all of that where there's areas where there's in need of safety measures for intersections or
they have all
repair
the
on
data.
sidewalks, right. But as we move forward with the grant we just received for implementation of our safety action plan, I'm not sure if there's a formalized agreement to be working together, but that
Yeah, if
they
you
are
don't need
they
it,
are
then-
integrated into that
Yeah.
system because the funding we received is directly related to safe walking routes. So,
Got it. Okay.
which is great. I mean, taking,
Yeah.
so.
Any other questions? Great. I will keep you informed as things develop and make sure that you're included as things progress up to City Council.
Is there any more new business? Nothing on the agenda? We have old business, the Erie Cemetery nomination update. We had a presentation from the Erie Cemetery.
Yes, and since then, it did go before Planning Commission. Planning Commission also, by unanimous vote, recommended that Erie Cemetery be listed on the Register of Historic Places within the city of Erie. So at this point, it has now been sent to council, and they will host a public hearing sometime within, as their agenda allows, to consider the nomination, and then we'll go to a formal vote. So it's working, the nomination itself is working its way through the system.
And we'll vote for city council next month? Or whenever it
Entirely up
happens.
to their,
Okay.
yes.
Anything else? We have this State Street National Register Historic District update.
Over the past month, we've been working with the Erie Downtown Partnership to build a landing page on both of our websites that has more information about the State Street National Register Historic District project. Also allows for public engagement, public input in that way, and should be live within the next week or 2.
Did we get the boundaries done?
Boundaries are still suggested by the consultants, and within, I think, the near future, so within the next several months, it will be going to the State Historic Preservation Office for consideration, and we'll know a lot more about their thoughts on the boundaries.
Excellent. The next would be the director's reports. Number 6 on, I'm sorry, the CLG project grant, City National Register nomination. That's another one, all right.
Yep, for City Hall, the information has been sent to the State Historic Preservation Office for consideration. We will have a kind of a final draft by the end of this month, and I will send that out for all of you to review. The hope is that we will be able to make the agenda for the State Historic Preservation Board in June. So there'll be more information at the end of this month for review.
Okay, excellent. So those 3 things are in the hopper.
It's a very big hopper, yes.
Excellent. And now director's reports. Planning Department goes first.
Thank you. I was referencing a grant, and I don't know if you were aware, but the city, right before the holidays, the city received notification that we were awarded a $20 million Safe Streets and Roads for All grant, implementation grant from the Federal Highway Administration. This grant comes after the completion of our safety action plan that was done in the previous year. And the Commonwealth received $28 million.
And we got 20
and
of
we
it?
got 20 million of that. So it was a great present to receive right before the holidays. So so there's 2 parts of that project. There's a planning part of it, and then there's spot-specific like construction and project work that's going to be done. We're still working through a little bit of the scope, but certainly this timeline is about 5 years out. So the safety action plan will be guiding us. Part of that is the safe walking routes and paving sidewalks where there's a need for improvement. So that is still another pot of money to be used for safety walking routes. So we were really excited to hear that.
There's already a list of projects with that, or it's kind of a
That's gonna come out-
concept? Okay.
Well, we have the safety action plan where we have the high injury network, and there's priority areas within the city where you have the highest fatalities and severe suspected injuries. That's what they call it. That's the term. So we're not talking about just normal kind of low incident crashes. These are fatalities and severe injuries that have life-changing effects. Those numbers were based on 2023 data. In 2024, we had several pedestrians, if you remember, that were hit and killed in the city of Erie. So we're going to update those numbers, and then through the planning process, we'll most likely be working with consultants to recommend where we focus that money on. So that piece of it is obviously the first initial part of it, and that's the planning and some policy changes and some. It's about 5 years. 5 years. Yeah, 5 years.
Wow.
So, but first and foremost, we have to kind of figure out where our scope lies, and then
And
with
do we
the
have to put out
transition.
bids and that kind of thing? And because
Yes.
we're not going to lay the concrete ourselves, right?
No, it's all written in the grant, and most of it is outsourced, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, a lot of project management.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But, it's very exciting for the city. I believe 600,000 was for planning and 19.8 thousand. Does that sound right? 19.8? 19.4.
No,
19.4 million
Yeah.
was for construction.
say 1,000 be
Wow.
one intersection, if that. If it was
They're
1,000.
expensive.
No, 19.8 million, right, yes, yes.
When you start moving sewer lines around, it starts to cost money.
Yes, so, yeah, so it's very exciting, and we'll see where that takes us in the next couple of months. We've got to get everything in a row.
Thank you. Aaron, do you also speak? Yes?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy New Year. Moving into 2026, certainly the redevelopment authority is going to continue our work at neighborhood revitalization and stabilization. Preservation of existing housing stock has always been a big priority of ours. So we continue to work on that. Also, the work with the land bank and the redevelopment authority on blight mitigation, the access to vacant, abandoned, and deteriorated properties in an effort to get to them sooner rather than later so that we can hopefully maintain that housing stock instead of having to eliminate it, has been our goal for probably the past 5 years, and we're getting closer to that, but we have to continue that fight. So just working toward that stabilization and preservation of the existing housing stock while also trying to, improve the neighborhoods at the same time. So look forward to 2026 and working with the HRC. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there a race, RACE? Is there that was the race report? That was the race, okay, I wasn't sure what the acronym was for. Is there anything else that we need to discuss at this particular meeting? Because that is the agenda.
Is the big printed copy of the survey in your office or here somewhere?
No, not at this moment.
Does it exist yet? I mean, they said that it was going to be printed.
Sorry. I do need to speak into the microphone so we can make sure everything is recorded. So, yes, there was things in the print shop here have been delayed over the past month or so. We will have it printed this month.
Right. And then I know when we did the grants, there were always pictures taken of these places before. And do we have a file of, because I think maybe between some of the changes in administration, whatever, have every single one of those buildings that were renovated, have used our grant, has the after picture happened?
For the HBIG
I think,
grant.
yeah.
Yes, we have all of the before and all of the after. It was part of the closeout process in working with RACE that we had to go out and do a site visit, make sure to capture all the renovations that were done.
Right. Because I think we ought to use that in the future.
We certainly can, especially since we're in the process of, I think, developing a landing page for for the State Street Historic District. We can certainly look to build something into our own, I think, website and cross-share with RACE as well to call attention to some of those successes. I think RACE does an excellent job at promoting it more so than I think we do about before and after. I mean, if you walk by their offices, you can see kind of posted on the walls around it all the before and after of all the work that they've done. So we'll take a page from them.
Great. Thanks.
Does anybody else have anything else for the good of the order? If there's none, I move to adjourn.
Make a motion.
I'm sorry, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Any seconds?
Yes, I'll second.
Any vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So adjourned.